So, we're here with Alexander from Logic Editor. We're here with Konstantin, developer of the Tarantul project from Mail.ru, and Ilya from IPONWeb.
Yeah.
Right. We're having a great time at the Lua Workshop, and I appreciated the talk a lot. So, how did this workshop here in Moscow come about? How was it to get it here to Moscow and sponsoring it, and how did the whole story about the Lua Workshop in Moscow get started?
Let me start, because last year I was in Toulouse and on the workshop, and I asked people if they want to come to Moscow and to talk about Lua. Well, lots of people said yes. Roberto said he would like to come.
Yes, so Alexander contacted us, so we just knew each other here, and he knew that Tarantul uses Lua, and there are other users of Lua in Mail.ru. So he came to us and said, why don't you guys give us the venue? And we decided it's a good idea, and then work started. Once we had the venue secured, then work started looking for other sponsors, and it was a bit of work, and then this is how we found Ilya, who also agreed to sponsor this. So and not personally, but his company, but the company he works at, and we have lots of users, and that's why we have a conference, I guess.
I don't really have to add that much, but yeah, at some point I've read on mailing lists that there are plans for Lua Workshop in Moscow, and I thought that our company, since it has so many Lua users, it's kind of a shame that we don't participate in some way and scout our people if we can, if we want, and yeah, that's how it's happened.
And so, is your company using Lua for a long time? How long have you been involved with Lua?
It's several years, I think. Maybe 5 or 6. I kind of lost track, but yeah, we're using it for quite a long time. We mainly use it in Ad7, but we also we have some projects where we think we will be using it in reporting, or we also use it for load balancing.
And at Mail.ru, what kind of uses does Lua have here?
Mail.ru is a big company. We have games, we have web presence like mail and search, and lots of other products for web. Like we even have maps, like Google Maps, but few people know about it. So too bad. But
and now more people is going to know.
Now more people is going to know about it. It was used in games before Tarantul, actually, and for Tarantul, which is a key value store that we started developing 5 years ago, about 5-6 years ago. Initially did not have stored procedures, so we decided, hey, we need the language to extend our database with stored procedures, and we were looking around, and looked very good for embedding into the database. So this is how it all started. And with Tarantul, there are more and more users of Lua, because people start writing stored procedures for Tarantul and other code and just application code, because it turned actually the whole thing around. We started with stored procedures, and now it's just a Lua interpreter, just Lua compatible, and you can do anything Lua, and you can use a database in your Lua script if you like. So we just extended Lua in a way now. So
and do you see Tarantul bringing more people into Lua, or do you also see people from Lua background coming to check out Tarantul? How's this interaction happening?
Well, Tarantul is a database first, so people are using it because they need fast and reliable storage, and it began as an in-memory database. It was for a very narrow use case. Just you need to store all your data in memory, access it really fast, and with low latency. So this is how it all started, and now I think more people are getting into Lua because of that. Lua community is very, different. It's different users, but mostly it's everybody is doing their own thing, and few people actually need that kind of a database that we have. But some people who are using Lua, they are actually begin to look at Tarantul because it uses Lua. So it's both ways.
Great. And Alexander, how's your perception of the Lua community and the workshop and the kind of works that are being presented here?
As Konstantin said, the Lua community is very, very varied. Almost everyone has his own ecosystem, and it's good and it's bad. It's good because variety is good in general, and you have lots and lots of approaches, and many people at the workshop come to me and say it's really good that I see all those very different uses. It gives lots of food for thought, and it's in general very healthy. But bad thing is it's too little reuse, too little work together. And if you look at Lua rocks, you have like 500 rocks, and Ruby has 10,000 or something like this.
Yeah, it's it's a project that's been growing a little bit every day, but at a slow pace, because of course Lua has this story as a niche language, and that's also like little by little growing into more and more kinds of applications. But yeah, of course it's a long way, but I think, if I may give my own opinion, I think events like this are opening up the community a lot and bringing a lot of people closer together, and I think it's an excellent opportunity.
I was just making a remark. It was surprising how helpful this was. I mean, even to me, I don't consider myself, a newbie, but even to me, I learned a lot on this event. So it was great.
Yeah, and what about your perceptions of the workshop so far?
I like it very much. I must admit that I don't participate that many workshops, but so far it's very great.
Are all three companies based in Moscow?
Yeah, but our company is distributed, but our engineering currently is in Moscow.
So do you see a kind of legacy staying here for the Lua community in Moscow after this workshop? Alexander mentioned that there's already a meetup planned and things like that. Do you think that the Lua community in general in Moscow is going to interact more and develop as a community after this event?
This is actually a great question. I wonder myself, because I am inspired to interact more myself. And I don't know how it's going to work out, whether this feeling is going to linger. So in that case, yes.
Yeah, because I always had this impression myself, because after I've been to other Lua workshops in other places and around the world, and after the event you always get like very excited and wanting to produce more, and getting like in a rush to get some code out and maybe a new version of your tools and things like that. And I noticed that a lot of people like leave the workshop with this feeling, and always a lot of work gets done after the event and things like that. And I think it's also very nice if there is a local community that gets engaged. And I was also very impressed at the amount of local people who are participating. I think this has been one of the largest, if not the largest, workshop held ever of the Lua Workshop. As the
organizer, I can give some numbers. So we had about 250 registration, 236.
No.
Numbers go up and up.
Yeah, we have 237 registrations, and we have something around that.
That's the amount of people that came. And surprisingly, when we tried to tell people more about the workshop on like local news and everything, we tried to say that it's not only for Lua people. It's for people who are generally interested in programming languages, because having a guy like Roberto Yerusalimsky coming to Moscow is a rare event. So a lead architect of a language, just understanding how languages work. So we try to attract more people who just like languages, and I think we see some of these people here now.
So what are your impressions as a heavy user of the language? Of the creator of the language and his presentation and like having this kind of interaction.
It's kind of amazing. It's like you're seeing a star. It's pretty rare ever to see and talk in person with creator of a language which he used for so long time. I'm pretty impressed.
Yeah, well, one thing that always strikes me in events like this is that we always come with feelings like this, which I share whenever I go to an event like this, and we always like end up by the end of the event leaving all of us as friends, and in the end as collaborators. And I think this is an amazing feeling and an amazing way of producing collaboration and a sense of community. So I want to thank you all for making this happen. I mean, I think.
Thanks, too.
very welcome.
Yeah.